Okay, this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time. I'm going to try to knock this out in about 10 minutes. I want to address the black men and also the black women who take advantage of the liberties on social media to preach this narrative that denigrates your black counterparts of the opposite gender. Black men who preach this idea that black women, and I'm going to use your vernacular, ain't shit. And black women who preach this narrative that black men, using your vernacular again, ain't shit. It doesn't matter how you frame it. This ideal of denigrating your race and an entire gender, my response to that is that all of you, the men and the women, you are telling on yourselves far more than what you realize. No matter what you believe, no matter what you think, no matter no matter what you say about the opposite gender, it speaks volumes about you as an individual. And it tells us about your background. It tells us where you come from. It tells us about your family, without exception. Of course, they would counter this, both the men and the women who talk like this and think like this. Well, they would say that, well, I don't mean all of them. That's your counter argument. Okay. But obviously, you don't mean all of them. But you never say some black men are deadbeats. Some black men are assholes. Some black men ain't shit. Or some black women are this, or some black women are that. You never say that. You always say black women suck. Black women are rude. Black women are ghetto. Black women act like men. Black men act like women. Black men this, black women that. You always say that. So don't now try to qualify what you are saying when your lingo is always black men, and when men do it, it's always black women. Now, on both sides, here's what you are doing. You are telling the world this about you. You're telling us, let's deal with the men first, since I'm a man. Black men who talk like that, think like that, and agree with that foolishness, what you're telling us is this: your mother is everything you say that black women are that's negative. Your mother ain't shit. That's basically what you're saying. Your mother is rude, crude, loud, obnoxious, ghetto, ignorant. Your mother is all of that. And most likely she is. And I'm not just saying that to be controversial. I'm saying that I understand where you're coming from. I can't relate to it, but I understand it. Because if that has been your life experience, if you have been raised in a household where all of your sisters are whores, they're drug users, they're tacky, they're ghetto, they're ignorant, they're loud, they're rude, they're violent, and your mother's the same way, and your aunts are just like that, and the girls in your neighborhood were just like that, and whatever girl you've dealt with, the black ones are just like that. You're telling on yourself. You see, because people like me, we realize that you have not encountered the black people that aren't like that, which means that you have not been exposed to the decent, intelligent, educated, successful, articulate, well-bred, properly raised black people that are so prolific in society. You haven't been around them, and we haven't been around you. So when you talk about black people in a negative way, you're really talking about, and this is the truth in most cases, the hood that you came from and the dysfunctional family that bred you and that you came out of. And really, and since your mother and your sisters were all of those negative things, where did you get this quality from that makes you such a catch and such a prize? Because you carry that same DNA. You see? And the same goes for you women that talk bad about black men. You carry the same DNA of that loser man who is your daddy, even if you don't know who he is or who he was. You also carry the DNA of all of those ratchet brothers, because when you talk about black men, you probably had brothers, and that's probably one of the reasons you feel that way, because you know for a fact that they were low life, that they're trash. in your opinion. And I'm not disagreeing with you. Maybe they are. I can't say because I don't know them. But seriously, if you think you're such a great catch, where did you get that DNA from? Because both your mama and daddy were trash according to you. You don't realize you're telling us that, but you are. Trash begets trash. An apple does not fall too far from the tree. If you're a black woman, you have or had a daddy. I say have or had because if you don't have him anymore, he's dead. You had one. Even if you don't know him. Somebody's sperm produced you. And you carry that loser's DNA. If he's a loser, you carry a loser DNA. I carry my dad's DNA. I carry my mom's DNA. I am proud of that. You will never hear me say anything negative about black women. I've got too many sisters. I have too many aunts. I have too many nieces. I have too many female cousins. And I've had too many black girlfriends in the past. And the black wife that I have now, even though she's Dominican, who are par excellence. They are what a woman should aspire to be. They are ladies. My mother, my sisters, my cousins, my nieces. There are some exceptions, but for the most part, they are classy. The majority of them are very well educated, very intelligent, successful in their own right. None of them are hood. How could they be? We didn't grow up like that. We will not grow up like that. We will not allow our children to be raised in such an environment. And even if we can't help it and they have to be, we're not going to allow the outside influence to be greater than the impactful influence we have within the home. That is the family tradition. And you're going to produce children that you can be proud of. And we can be proud of our parents. Let me tell you something. My son was named after me, my first son. And his first son was named after me as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if my grandson names his son, his first son, after me. Because I would be named after my dad if I was my dad's first. My dad named my older brother after him. And if I was my dad's first, I would have named my first son after me. He would have named his first son after him. And he'd be the fourth. Why is that? Why do men do that? Because they are proud of their legacy. They are proud of their heritage. They are proud of the person who raised them, the man who raised them. Why would I give my first son my name if my name came from my dad and I'm not proud of my dad? Why would my first son give his son my name if he was named after me and he wasn't proud of me? He's very proud of me. He has every reason to be. You see? So you would not see us denigrate black men or black women. You see, we are very much aware of the ratchetness that exists among black women. And we are very much aware of the ratchetness and the dysfunction that exists and is very pervasive among black men. But we don't see that as the rule. Therefore, we would never denigrate the men or the women that come from a decent background. We would never denigrate the opposite gender. And at the same time, elevate and over-aggrandize white people the way they inevitably do. Those black men who denigrate black women inevitably elevate the status of white women. And they over-aggrandize them. I have nothing against white women. I love white women because white women are people. And I love white people because white people are people and they were all created by God. And if we have something in common, we are brethren. I don't care what you racist, black, white, or any other race think or how you feel. I don't care. I do not care. If we have the same father, we are brothers. It's really that simple, regardless of your race. Okay? And if your father is the devil, I have no kinship with you. None at all. Okay. So again, when black people denigrate the opposite gender of their race, they are basically speaking of their own dysfunction. The majority of you know damn well what I'm about to say is true. You grew up in a very dysfunctional family that was in a very dysfunctional neighborhood. And you were surrounded by nothing but dysfunction. And because you were surrounded by the dysfunction, you have been jaded in your worldview.